Let me tell you a little bit about that lineman that actually did what he was supposed to that day, that I told that story earlier. You know, the first thing out of his mouth was, "Is this crap really works?" When he got home that night, he went and watched his son play a baseball game. He went and watched his son play a baseball game. Because of the decision that he made that morning. If he would have chose, we all have that choice. We can all choose how we want to work. If we want to work safely, if we want to work reckless, we all have that choice. We can all choose how we want to work, how reckless, how careful, whatever. We can make that choice. But that morning, he chose to do what he'd been taught. That night, he went home and he watched his son play a baseball game. Why do we do the things that we do? I hope we do them for the right reasons. Thanks for inviting me here today. I've enjoyed being here. Hopefully, you've been able to pick something out of this presentation. And if it's only one thing, then I've accomplished everything that I can today. I really, honestly, truly believe if I can just reach one person, I've done everything that I can do. But if that happens to grow and he reaches somebody else, or I happen to reach more people, we just make our industry better and better and better, and we become safer. We got to quit killing people. Just like this accident that happened 5 weeks ago. Maybe he was supposed to go to a baseball game that night. I have no idea what he had, but we need to be careful, and we need to be our brother's keeper. We need to watch out for our pull buddies. It affects you. When I was just starting out in the industry, I had a pull buddy that I worked with almost every day. And I was in a different area than where I grew up. I got to move home the first day of March. The 26th day of March at 3:30 in the afternoon, my pull buddy that I worked with every day, or almost every day, for the past year, came in contact with a lineman and was electrocuted and killed. I can remember where I was driving down the road. When that Mayday call come across the road, I can remember pulling right off to the side of the road, and I sit there for probably an hour and a half listening to every single word that came across that radio. Back in those days, we didn't have the cell phones. It was all radio communication. And that communication was poor at times back then. But I can remember the effect that that had on my life at that point in time. I can remember sitting there holding on every single word that was said, hoping and praying for the best. He was married. He had about a 10-month-old little son. His wife never remarried, and I've lost contact with their family. They ended up moving from the location they was at. So I don't know how the rest of the story ended up being, but I do know the effect that it had on my life, other lives that was around him. So I just want to again remind you about looking at the different ways that the different paths, the different ways, the different feeds. Know the system. Know the very best way that you can protect you and yourself. Because we truly work so we can go home and we can enjoy life.